Assalamu alaikum fam, hope you're doing well. So, oh my goodness, we're continuing our reading of this fantastic book. I mean, just to reiterate all the action that's happened. I mean, Khalid, he has just, he took out Salma, who was of the Gadafan tribe, okay? He was at the Battle of Buzaka and just totally handling business. And now he's on his way to Buta to fight Malik bin Nuweira. So, I mean, we're just right in the action. Let's continue. The first phase of the campaign of the Apostasy ended with the death of Salma. The major tribes of north-central Arabia, which had rebelled against Islam as followers of Tuleiha, had now been defeated and subdued, and their leaders were either killed or captured or driven away. No more rebel chieftains raised their heads again in this region. Okay, so the campaign of the Apostasy was specifically in north-central Arabia. Tuleiha and all his crew has been totally taken out. Salma is gone, so the Gadafans defeated too. I mean, yes, no one, boom, handle business. But one remained, more of a bandit leader than a tribal chief, who was still causing anxiety to the Muslims. This man's name was Ayas bin Abd Yaleel. Interesting, so more of a bandit, okay, let's see. But he was more commonly known as Faja'a. He was an adventurer. Oh, that's cool. Wow, that's a cool name. At about the time when Khalid was consolidating his gains at Buzaka, Faja'a came to Abu Bakr. I am a Muslim, he said. Equip me with weapons and I shall fight the infidels. Let's see what Abu Bakr says. Abu Bakr was only too glad to hear the offer and equipped him with weapons. The man rode away from Medina, formed a gang of bandits, and began to waylay unwary travelers, many whom were killed. The gangsters operated in the region lying to the east of Mecca and Medina. Oh no. And Muslim and infidel alike suffered at the hands of Faja'a. Uh-oh. Dang. So Faja'a went to Abu Bakr under false pretenses. Maybe he did that because the armor was such good quality. Well, he's also a degenerate, right? He's also a criminal. But maybe the armor that they were giving out was like better than what he could buy at the same time, because he probably did that for a reason. And he probably did it because, if you think about it, he's a bandit. If he goes to Abu Bakr, introduces his name, gets into the mind of Abu Bakr, when his name is mentioned, Abu Bakr might say, hey, I know that guy. I heard about him. He's a Muslim. And might not be so quick to believe the reports about his criminal activity. You see what I'm saying? You never know. When Abu Bakr heard of the depredations of Faja'a, he decided to make an example of him for the deceit he had practiced on the Caliph. He sent a column to get the man alive, and a few days later the brigand was brought to Medina in irons. Oh, Abu Bakr's like, hey, I'm the Caliph. Let's get you, Faja'a. He's in irons, so he's in chains. He's chained up. Abu Bakr ordered a large pile of whips arranged in front of the mosque. When ready, the pile was set on fire. Oh no. It has the real word here, but that word is used as a slang term now, and YouTube will get mad if you say it. But it's basically sticks. Bundle of sticks. The grammatical word for a bundle of sticks starts with an F, but it's a slur now, which it's a bundle of sticks. As the wood crackled and the flames rose skyward, Faja'a, still in irons, was thrown into the fire. Oh, that is so cool. Oh my gosh. Look how Abu Bakr deals with his enemies. Look how Abu Bakr, okay, because you know how Abu Bakr previously is like, he would be very passionate in prayer and cry, right? The father of Aisha. He's the Caliph, right? He's telling Khalid, keep doing your business, keep doing what you gotta do, you're doing great, taking care of the apostates, the campaign of the apostasies. And now, he took his enemy and tossed him into the fire. When Abu Bakr was dying 2 years later, he expressed certain regrets. There were, he said, 3 things that he had done and wished he had not done, and 3 things that he had not done and wished he had. One of these related to Faja'a. I wish, said Abu Bakr, I had Faja'a killed outright and not burned alive. Maybe because I saw the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that fire is a punishment only for Allah, and that you're supposed to kill the other way. Maybe that's why. I was in Bukhari. I read that. Because I read that the Prophet, peace be upon him, ordered someone to be burned, and said, actually, no, just kill them because fire is for Allah because of the hellfire. So maybe that's why. Alright, now we're in a new section. 14, false lords and ladies. Okay. We're here with Malik. Malik bin Nuweira was a chief of the Bani Yarbu. Wow, okay. A large section of the powerful tribe of Bani Tameem. Wow, so it's like a sub-tribe, which inhabited the northeastern region of Arabia, above Bahrain, being close to Persia. Some elements of the Bani Tameem had embraced Zoroastrianism. Oh, I heard about that. But by and large, the tribe was pagan until Islam came to Arabia. The center of the Zoroastrian guy with the wings. Yeah, the Persians, yeah. Malik's clan was Bhutta. Okay, so Malik's clan is Bhutta. That's in the area of Bhutta. Okay. Malik was a chief of noble birth, famous for his generosity and hospitality. He would keep a light burning outside his house all night so that any traveler passing that way would know where to find shelter and food. Well, that's cool. Just a consistent flame. I thought he would just have it burning because you want to be able to see who's riding up, but he does it for like, hey, shelter here. He would get up during the night to check the light. A strikingly handsome man, he had a thick head of hair in his face. Oh, wow. A contemporary has said, was as fine as the moon. Oh, woo. Hello. He was skillful in the use of weapons and noted for his courage and chivalry. And he was an accomplished poet. See, that's what's so cool. He's a chief. He's handsome. He's generous. He's chivalrous. He's courageous. And actually is a poet. Again, what I've learned so much about reading about the formidable soldiers of Arabia in the past is that their poetry was a sense of, it's a lyrical skill, and it shows your contemplative rhetoric skills and creativity of your mind. In America, they infantilize it and say like it's a sissy thing. But here it's like, no, it's not. And I like the Eastern perspective, I have to say. Not the American perspective where it's just like a very skinny, tiny guy. Even though those types exist, or someone who's very eccentric. I met a lot of poets who are very eccentric. Thus, Malik possessed all the qualities which the Arabs looked for in the perfect male. Yeah, it sounds like, yeah. He had everything. I mean, it definitely sounds like. Leila was the daughter of Minhal, and was later also known as Tameem. A dazzling beauty, she was one of the loveliest girls in Arabia, the fame whose stunning good looks had spread far and wide. Oh wow, so then you know she must have been beautiful. She was known especially for her gorgeous eyes and her lovely legs. How'd they see her legs? Oh, because she's not a Muslim. Oh, she's part of a different tribe. She too had everything. Are they gonna get married? Is Malik and Leila gonna get married? She came of age. She was pursued by every swain in the region, but rejected the suit of one and all. I wonder why. Then she met Malik. Oh, I called it. With whom she was destined to enter pages of history. Malik married Leila. Oh, I was right. Oh, he's so cute. Thus, okay, so a beautiful man marries a beautiful woman. Perfect. Thus, well, I mean, he's more than just handsome, right? He's generous and fine as the moon, as they say. In addition to all his other inalienable qualifications, also had as a wife one of the loveliest women of the time. Wow. Malik, so think about it. This is the guy who, Malik bin Nuweira, who Khalid is coming for. So Khalid is coming for a guy who's got a fine wife, noble birth, and poet, and who's also going to be someone who is going to have soldiers. Malik bin Nuweira certainly had everything that is but faith. During the year of delegations, when the tribe of Bani Tameem embraced Islam, Malik moved with the popular trend and became a Muslim. Oh, okay, so he becomes a Muslim. Look at that. Wow. I thought they were going to go to war first. In view of his distinguished position in the tribe and his unquestionable talents, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, appointed him as an officer over the clan of Bani Hanzala. Wow! Look at that. He's got all this, and then he becomes an officer of the clan of Bani Hanzala by the Prophet himself. Look at that. His main responsibility was the collection of taxes and their dispatch to Medina. Oh, he had to work in finance. You had to be trusted to work in finance. Malik performed these duties honestly. Oh, see, look, he just said honestly after I just said, I'm very in sync with this writer. That's how you know you have a good writer, is that you can sync up with his thoughts and then it comes out later in a few sentences. I really like this book, if you can't tell already. Malik performed these duties honestly and efficiently for some time. Then the Holy Prophet died. When the news of his death reached Buta, Malik had just collected a good deal of tax. Prior to its dispatch to Medina, forgetting his oath of allegiance, he had once opened the coffers and returned the money to the taxpayers. "O Bani Hanzala," he announced, "your wealth is now our own. Malik has apostatized." Oh no. Aww. Jeez. What? He traded. He became a trader. Right after the Prophet died. Why did he do that? I thought he liked it. He was given a good position. Whatever. Sajjah was the daughter of Al-Haris, born in a family of chiefs. She had qualities of leadership, personality, and intellect with which few women had been endowed. She was clairvoyant, would predict future events, and was so versatile at poetess that practically everything she said was in verse. I like to speak in verse a lot, and some people are like, why aren't you doing that? It's like, it's a skill. I wish there people could see. Rap battles are different because they can get too vulgar, but there can be exchanges of parable poetic verse that I wish people would engage in more often, because you can do it in satire, but in like witticisms and like beauty. It would be cool if we could do that again. That would be nice. Look at this though. Sajjah, another daughter of a chief, man. So many chiefs. So cool. It's like, wow. People forget that like Arabia had chiefs and tribes. Sometimes we only think of chiefs and tribes in the sense of Native American, indigenous peoples in Latin America. You know? It's really interesting. I mean, we hear a little bit about like groups and stuff. We hear tribes, but we think of Jewish tribes. You know? This book has taught me a lot about the history in that part of the world. It's highly educational. When people spoke to her, she rhymed back at them. I do that sometimes and people get mad at me. They're like, you're a witch. And it's like, come on, man. I'm trying to like, you say something poetic and say something back. And like, I try to start it and then they don't do it back. But then they're like, oh, I know how to do it. And then they don't do it back. And then they accuse me of being a witch. It's like, no. It would be nice if you would rhyme back. So, oh, I think I like her. Sajjah sounds cool, man. I like her so far. Even though she's going to be, I think, somebody goes against Islam, but her personality sounds a lot like mine. Later known as Sadira. Okay, so her Sajjah becomes Sadira. She also belonged on her father's side to the Bani Yarbu, and thus was a kinswoman of Malik bin Nuweira. Oh, really? So Sajjah, Sajjah, also known later as Sadira, is a relative of Malik. Wow. On her mother's side, however, she belonged to the Taghlib, one of the tribes in the large group known as Rabea, which inhabited Iraq. Wow. So many cool fact nuggets here about Iraq. Sajjah lived mostly among the Taghlib who followed the Christian faith. Oh, look at that. There's Christians over here in Iraq. And because of her mother's influence, Sajjah also had become a Christian, but Christianity did not have a very strong hold upon her, nor upon members of the Taghlib, as we shall see. Wow. She was a Christian. She grew up around Christians. When apostasy began to spread, Sajjah heard that Tuleiha and Museilima had proclaimed their prophethood. Idiots. Her fertile imagination was intrigued by the possibilities that these false claims opened up. Why should only men why should only men be prophets? Oh boy. She wants to be a Joan of Arc? No. Why could a woman not enter the sacred precincts of prophethood? Well, it would depend, because might get distracted by lust. Would have to be a warrior, or extremely nurturing, I think, or very good at infrastructure. It would be something like that. Couldn't just be around brushing your hair. An adventuress at heart, she finally gave in to the temptation. I am a prophetess, she declared, and elucidated the point with a few appropriate verses. Oh boy. Oh jeez. I didn't know she was gonna go that way. I was hoping for her, and now she's gone downhill. Don't do that. Strangely enough, most of her mother's clan accepted her as a prophetess, and pledged to obey her. Why? You can just be like a good person. Like, you can just be talentful, and you don't need to be a prophetess in order to have, like, prestige. It's unnecessary. And it's a lie. They had been Christians. She mustered many armed followers and came down into Arabia, where her father's tribe also flocked to her standard. Wow, so she raised her standard and they arrived. No doubt many followed her. Elders and clansmen were led by the temptation of plunder and the desire to settle old scores with some of the tribes in northeastern Arabia, which had old feuds with them. So tribal warfare in northeastern Arabia. Why would she just say that? Ugh. A female Christian prophet? No. That's absurd. Why would she be tempted like that? I don't get it. Some people have everything, and then they want more, and you're like, why are you doing that? Wow, so much history!